What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ridge. Today, we are going to be drinking and ranking all 6 benchmark bourbons. Yeah, all 6 of them, baby. It's gonna get weird. So what we're gonna do is, you can see over here on our fancy little scoring system, we got 1 through 6. We're gonna start with the regular old benchmark here. I'll give an opinion on it. I will rank loosely where it goes on the list. Then we will randomly reach in the pile of benchmarks over here, fresh crack it open, add it to the list. So obviously the list will change as we go. So by the end of it, we will have our final order. So the only one of these that I have had is the regular benchmark 8. That is what we will start with. That is where I will give a baseline. All of the other 5 are uncracked, and I will be randomly grabbing one and pouring it just to make it even more random, I guess. I've never tried any of them, so that's as blind as we're gonna get it. That way we're just giving a simple ranking of what I think of them. Huge shout out to James B for being friggin' awesome. He sent me all 5 of the other benchmarks because we don't get them here, and I guess he really wants to know what I think about the benchmarks. So huge shout out James B for benchmark. Freaking love you, dude. Let's get right into it. We will start with the benchmark number 8, the standard line that we've been used to from Buffalo Trace. Solid $9 bottle, under 10, okay? Under 10, not too much to expect from it. The color looks like that of slightly dehydrated urine. Little sweet, that Buffalo Tracy notes kind of showing up there. This one's 40%. That's important because these proofs on all these bottles are all over the place. It's really just cherry and corn, and that's it. It's not a whole lot. What is it to expect? It's the bottom shelfer. Okay, so that is very grain. That is very corn. That is very, you don't want to sip on that type of pour. So I'm gonna give it a loose, it's baseline. I'll probably stick at a 5. It very well could end up in the 6th place spot. This is not really something that you want to go and pour neat. You know, I use this to mix in Dr. Pepper. Maybe a newbie could, I don't know, just 5. Not that impressive. All right, let's move right along. I have all of these down here. I'm just gonna reach for one and we'll see what we get. Next one up is the benchmark small batch, 90 proof. So we're going up. I imagine this stuff right here is going to be pretty much the same as this one, just in a small batch. Select barrels are chosen for this small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Okay. Fresh crack on this bottle. My unadulterated thoughts. Color looks oddly the same. All right, here we go. Okay, they're not the same at all. That's not even remotely close. I don't know, maybe my old benchmark is just, it's old, but man, this smells like the over-the-top caramel and vanilla, like a fake vanilla, like vanilla flavoring, okay? This isn't a baked goods, this is vanilla candy that was melted, so it's just a sugary mess. This is so thick. It's almost just artificial flavor, tasting. Wow, okay, let's taste it. Honestly, not bad. Not terrible. It's definitely better than the benchmark number 8. It's not as over the top sweetness on the palate as is the nose. The nose is literally just, you walk into a sugar factory. The palate's the same notes. There's nothing different. There's no variance from like caramel and vanilla and It's about all you get on this one, so it's better. It's definitely better. I think, you know, I'm not gonna bump it too far up yet, but it's definitely better than this guy. This is not good. And, you know, I will find out and post the prices of these because I don't know. Again, James, crazy. But they're not much more money. Like, I think the most expensive one is $20, so double the price of the Benchmark 8. So these aren't going to be expensive. So it's interesting to already see such a variance in the flavor. All right, grabbing the next bottle, and it's gonna go to Benchmark Bonded. Okay, the Bonded 100 proof, aged 4 years to meet those standards of being bottled in bond. Heck yeah, don't know what the other ones, I imagine they are the bottom of the barrel, you know, the Benchmark 8 friggin' 2. So 4 years old, fresh crack of this sucker. And I am saving these glasses that way if I come to a tie or hard decision. So far it hasn't been hard at all, but we'll at least be able to kind of do a head-to-head. So the Bonded. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's like what you would expect. It almost, I wouldn't say it's turning into Buffalo Trace, but you can see the direction that it's going into, whereas the other ones you can tell, like that is a bottom shelf, just standard crap. This, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see what race it's on. Again, totally different. It is that all of that sugar, super sweet, ridiculous over the top note, definitely down. Definitely down. It's smelling more like a bourbon and not a fake bottle. Yeah, that's solid. I really like that. Is it doing anything different than like a regular bottle of Buffalo Trace? No. Is it cheaper? Yeah, so it would be something that I would maybe start with even first. Like if you're really new getting into it, try this. If you're just looking for a cheap daily sipper, I think that this is solid. This is doing it for me. It's definitely, I would say it's more good than that. By at least one. So I'm not gonna put it in the first place, but it's much better than this one. It almost just makes that one. There you go. Here we go. That's the order. The regular old Benchmark over here is last place. Man, so far this has been shocking. I had no idea that they were gonna be this different. So we got 3 more. Let's carry on. Next up on the list, Benchmark Top Floor. Okay, interesting. Do they have a bottom floor one coming? Like, why pick the top floor? Bourbon that matures on the top warehouse floors tends to age faster as heat rises. That's why they picked the top floor. So here we go again. We hit 90 proof with the small batch. We hit 100 proof, obviously, with the bonded. Top floor, 86 proof. They're all over the place. And then the Benchmark 8, 80. Just, they're hitting all marks, okay? They're really checking the boxes. All right. Fresh crack on that one. Honestly, like the color has been pretty much very consistent. There you go. You want consistency, they're doing it. All right, we're going back now. We're going back to that small batch territory, but something odd. There's something else a little bit different. So we're much more in the melted sugar fake type of area, but you know, a weird note, and let's figure out what it is. I don't know, black licorice maybe? I don't know. Which maybe just, it's getting super hot and it says they age faster up there. AKA, it's taking on a lot more barrel really fast. So it's much softer. It is 4 proof points lower than the small batch, but a little more toned down. So not as cavity inducing of the mouth. still not that impressive to me. It's not as, I don't know, it's fine, but there's nothing that interesting to me. I'm gonna go ahead and say it is a better version of the small batch. I will say that. So I will push the small batch to 5th. That dude will go into 4th place. It's just these two right here, they're, I don't know, they're different stages. It's like the small batch that came from the top floor. That's it. It's the only difference, and obviously that's the only difference they were probably going for, but that's really how it drinks. They're not too different. I didn't learn too much about the top floor. All right, we got 2 more, and we got open top spots, okay? Let's find out. Next on the list is going to Benchmark Foolproof. Okay, let's up the ante, baby. 125 proof. The Benchmark Foolproof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is bottled at the same proof that it enters the barrel. So, they do proof it down. Okay, let's just say it goes up to 130. They're gonna proof it down to the barrel entry proof, AKA full proof. And I will say, I don't know, let's just throw it in over here on this camera and maybe I'll get some shots of it. This bottle's different. What is up with that? Look at that. This bottle's different. It's taller. It has a different neck thing. What is that with that? They're changing stuff. Look at that. It's different. Interesting. Maybe it's a different batch or come on, consistency. All right, the foolproof. Let's see what it's all about. Man, okay. Going back to the super over-the-top caramely vanilla cavity bomb. All right, this one's going back to the small batch on the top floor. It is so vanilla dense, just fake vanilla melted caramel cavity. Just intense sweetness, man. That is, and slightly, ever so slightly spicy. Like, this does not indicate to me that this is about to be 125 proof. Maybe that will tell me different when we drink it, but it smells hotter, yeah, but not that much. Definitely better. I like this in the sense of it's what they were doing with the small batch and the top floor, and they cranked up the heat just to say, hey, here's a barrel proof or foolproof version of it for someone who likes that. I'm cool. I'm cool with this. Is it my favorite? I would think this would probably be what people gravitate towards first. They'd be like, oh my God, foolproof, it's like $20. I think you need to ask yourself, what do you think about regular Benchmark? Because if you hate it, I don't think you're gonna love it at a higher proof. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same flavors, just hot as piss. Honestly, I think we're gonna put it right here. Because it is. I think this one, the Bottled and Bond so far has just been so different, and all of these have been very similar, just different iterations of each other. I will say, if I had to pick of the standard iteration, the foolproof, liking it the best. So that leaves one bottle to go, and who knows if this is going to take the top spot. If it's going to be a battle between the Bottled and Bond and foolproof, I don't know. Let's find out. The Benchmark Single Barrel, 95 proof. So there we go. Getting back to weird proofs. Only the best barrels are selected. The best of the bottom shelfers. Now, this is sub $20 or something, and they're not gonna tell you any information about which barrel. This isn't, you don't get that benefit, okay? You don't get to know which rick house and which rick and which row and it was next to this and what. You don't get to know that. So all right, let's go. Fresh crack, the last bottle. the single barrel. No telling how different they are from other barrels again. I have no idea. Okay, there we go. We're back. To me, this is such an obvious front runner, just like the Bottled and Bond. They are different. They are totally different than the other ones. I hate to say, I keep comparing it to that's much more Buffalo Trace-like. But you know, Buffalo Trace has that characteristic cherry DNA in it, wherein these other benchmarks don't really follow that. It just introduces this super sweet, over the top, just in your face, I'm gonna rot out all your teeth, you know, and that's cool, but that is not Buffalo Trace. These front two, the Bottled and Bond and the single barrel, it's getting into that territory. If anything, this single barrel almost, I wouldn't say it tastes like a Buffalo Trace store pick, maybe a not as good Buffalo Trace store pick, but it's definitely more towards that than these other benchmarks. I'm actually getting a little more cherry and some oakiness that like I didn't get on any of the others really. It's good. Oh yeah, that is quintessential Buffalo Trace. I mean, it's hard to even call benchmark number 8 Buffalo Trace. I drink that, and I drink the small batch. I would never have guessed, without knowing that's what it was, that it was Buffalo Trace. I'm really gonna have to go between the Bottled and Bond and the single barrel. So this is the single barrel, this is the Bottled and Bond. Man, that is tough. For one benchmark, those are knock out of the park. Those are great. I think for that market, okay, don't get me wrong. This is not life-changing. This is not go stand in line for a single, like, don't do that, you're weird. But for the range that this is going for, we've seen other really great sub $20 bottles come out. This competes. These two compete. Even between the single barrel and the Bottled and Bond, man, they are so different. It's like the single barrel is much more Buffalo Trace-like, and the Bottled and Bond is like just the best benchmark version of benchmark. This is tough, but I'm gonna lock it in because we have to. Getting kind of slammered. The winner is the friggin' Bottled and Bond, baby. Yes, my winner is going to the benchmark bonded. I knew from the get-go this was a front runner and that single barrel was a front runner. You know, the small batch and the top floor, they are very intense. In your friggin' face. You know, they're better than regular benchmark. I'll give them that, but that's it. The full proof is literally just those at a higher proof. So if I was gonna pick one, that would probably be it. But then you get down to these top two, man. They're different. They're fun. I think Benchmark really hit these out of the park. I think they added a couple bottles to the budget market that are really gonna push the limits. You know, I say push the limits. I'm saying comparatively to what's already on the market. You know, you need someone to come up and step up the game a little bit. That's how you get competition. That's how you get better product. Like Evan Williams Bottled and Bond has been running the sub $20 market, and you can do better. And I think these do better. This Bottled and Bond is better. And that's what we need to create a healthy environment of just people striving to put out the best stuff, even if it is cheap, budget, not hard to make stuff. We want good bourbon. Crap. There we have it. I drank all 6 benchmarks, so you don't have to, except for maybe you should. Go try them yourself. That's the best way to learn. You know, if you agree with my palate, then you should probably start on my winning end here. You know, If you liked the video, guys, leave a like on it. We did something a little different with this other camera. We changed the lighting a little bit. It's all sorts of weird. I love experimenting and trying new things for you guys. So if you liked it, leave a like and comment below that you liked this style. If you've tried these, because I know they're not everywhere. Again, James Benchmark freaking hooking me up. I don't get them here. So if you have tried these, leave a comment what your results are. I'm super curious to what you think, which one won. If you're interested in any of the Kinsey glassware that you saw in the video, maybe that Bourbon Wrench flight stave you saw, you can get cool stuff like that by joining the Patreon page. Click the link in the description, join over there. On top of that, you also get access to Bourbon Wrench barrel picks coming. And until next time, guys, I'm Trevor Wilson. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.